You know, guys, over the last couple of weeks and honestly over the last month, my upload schedule has been god-awful, and so has the upload schedule of so many other content creators on COD, not even just the RANT channels, just literally everybody, because there's absolutely nothing interesting going on in MW 2019 Part 2, and I'll talk a little bit about my future with this game in a couple of videos from now, but I don't think anybody is surprised to see that nobody is interested in this current Call of Duty game, as opposed to the older Call of Duty games, which have seemingly had a resurgence because Microsoft has essentially cleaned up a lot of the servers on the older Call of Duties, and there's been a lot of people asking me to cover this, and a lot of people asking me what my thoughts are, if I'm gonna play the older CODs because they're more available now. And just to be upfront, I can't really go back to these older CODs because I don't have an Xbox and I don't have a PC, and I don't personally think I'd have much success going back on the older CODs on PlayStation right now. But the reason I'm bringing this up is not only because it's amazing for the fans of the older Call of Duty games, a lot of OGs are going back to play those old CODs, and that stuff is great, but what it means for modern Call of Duty times, and the modern fan base, and everybody who's currently trying to play the newer Call of Duty games, and trying to enjoy their experiences here, this is extremely disheartening, and it's extremely disappointing to see just how popular the older Call of Duty games are in comparison to what we have now. And just for immediate reference, this comes out from Charlie Intel. He says, "Incredible to see old Call of Duty games in the top charts on the Xbox store." And as you can see, I mean, there's Black Ops 2, MW2, Black Ops, MW3, and at least by the looks of it, it looks to be topping Modern Warfare 2019 Part 2. And look, I'm not surprised by this because those older COD games are so much better than what we have now, but it just goes to show where the fans' interests lie at. This is what Call of Duty fans want. They don't want whatever the fuck is happening right now. Whatever's happening right now is bullshit. To me, I hardly even consider these recent Call of Duty games Call of Duty. When I think of Call of Duty, I'm thinking of Black Ops 2, MW2, Black Ops 1, COD 4. I mean, check this out as well, also from Charlie Intel. Modern Warfare 3 from 2011, the actual good one, is showing over 126,000 total players online on Xbox 360. Guys, for a game that is over a decade old, those numbers are fucking great. Like, whatever the player count is for the current Call of Duty right now, I have no idea what it is. There's so many different reports about monthly active users, and there's like a million people playing on PlayStation on the new CODs. I don't know about all that. All I do know is we actually get to see live player counts on some of these older games, and even if this number is a little bit rounded and maybe we're looking at like 90,000 instead, which for the current CODs is not very good at all, but if we're talking about a game that is over 10 years old, that is incredible. That's amazing. I mean, I've seen Nero Cinema do the whole SBMM matchmaking test where he and other content creators have tried matchmaking on the older CODs, and it was almost instantaneously finding a lobby over there as opposed to the new modern Call of Duties where it takes like 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes plus sometimes. I mean, depending on your skill level, guys, you know the SCAD Master, top 3% in the world on ranked play. The SCAD Master has a decent shot. It's no joke here on the channel, alright? Some of your favorite content creators will get shitted on by the SCAD Master. It just is what it is. I shit you not, sometimes it takes me 5 to 10 minutes looking for a lobby where I'm not at like 110 ping, 90 ping, 70 ping. Anything above 40 ping, in my opinion, in these newer Call of Duty games is unacceptable. And yes, of course, in the older Call of Duty games, yes, there's more lag, there's no dedicated servers, but at a certain point, I just want to play the goddamn game. Finding a lobby instantaneously without the restrictions of the current SBMM, that is a blessing. And when you look at these newer Call of Duty titles, I'm just filled with disappointment. These games should be overpopulated. There should be more people talking about these newer CODs than the older CODs. And I'm saying this as a massive fan of the golden era of COD. There's no reason those games should be this populated right now. But the reason they are populated is because guess what? Those games are good. They're fun. These current games, MW 2019 and onwards, dog shit. Now, I saw a lot of people talking about this because they're seemingly finding a correlation between Xboxes and the older Call of Duty games. This comes out from Charlie Intel as well. He says, if you're looking for an Xbox to play the older Call of Duty games, we've been getting reports that stores are sold out of Xbox Series X and S consoles. You may have better luck ordering online. Now, I'm not going to make this whole console war thing, but I will tell you guys something. If we're talking about the availabilities of PlayStation 5s and Xbox Series S's and X's, this whole availability issue should be happening on PS5s, okay? Let's not beat around the bush. I'm not saying PS5 is better. I don't give a fuck. There used to be a lot of availability for those consoles for Xbox. Right now, not so much, and it just so happens to be around the same time that these older Call of Duty games are more available to play now. At least that's what the implication is from tweets like this, and a lot of people seem to be on the same boat. How crazy is it that the availability of new-gen consoles has gone down and become less available because more people want to go back to play the older Call of Duty games? The Xbox Series S and X are like $400 and $500. Nowadays, do you think they're running out of PS5s because people want to play Modern Warfare 2019 Part 2? Fuck no. Like I said earlier, guys, it's great to see how good those older Call of Duty games are to the point where so many people are going back to those, but it is extremely disappointing for what we have nowadays because the standards are so much different. You go back to the older Call of Duty games, you can't slide cancel. You don't have advanced movement. There's no FOV sliders on those older CODs. The graphics and animations are so much worse than what they are right now currently. The hit registration, probably a lot worse. The lag and server and connectivity issues, so much worse back then. And yet with all those problems, quote unquote, why is it that so many people are still gravitating to those older Call of Duty games as opposed to now? It's because we don't really give a fuck about how advanced this new COD is. We don't care about that shit. We just want something that's fun and enjoyable. And you oversaturate how good this game could be when I'm waiting 5 fucking minutes to get into a lobby on what should be the most overpopulated Call of Duty game of all goddamn time. You're lying to yourself if you think this current game right now, or any game 2019 and onwards, is better than any of the golden era CODs. I don't give a fuck. Maybe you're trolling for impressions. I get it. I do it all the goddamn time. None of these current Call of Duty games even touch the golden era CODs. And no, that's not nostalgia glasses. I just got done ranting to you about how many issues there are on the older CODs. There's even hackers over there, and people would still rather play that shit than what there is right now. And just to keep the ball rolling, check out this tweet from Doug Dimmadome Warzone. Call of Duty is now asking players what they think of the time to kill in Modern Warfare 2019 Part 2. And I don't know if it's in this gameplay, I don't remember, but as soon as the game ends, they asked me this exact same question. They're asking us about the time to kill. They're asking people if they're even enjoying their last match. And I'm honestly curious to see what the survey results are, but of course that's never gonna come out. And look, I don't know if they used to do that on the older CODs, but what I can tell you is a lot more people prefer the time to kill back then as opposed to what it is right now. And this is after so much feedback. This is also in the midst of us having the easiest possible communication line with the developers. Social media, it's bigger than it ever was. And we tried giving feedback and communicating with the developers on what we like versus what we don't like. They don't give a fuck. They didn't change shit. And yet back in the day when it was supposed to be harder to communicate with the devs were so much more receptive back then. Once again, disappointing as a Call of Duty fan. In terms of how time works and progression, these newer Call of Duty games should, by definition, be way better than the older Call of Duty games, and that's simply not the case. And I know what some of the criticism might be on a video like this. Oh, rose-tinted glasses. Oh, you're still playing the new COD though. You're complaining and hating for views. Let's take care of those right now. First of all, complaining for views. Nobody on Call of Duty YouTube is getting views right now unless you're Jev. Second of all, still playing Modern Warfare 2019 Part 2. I literally cannot go back to the older Call of Duty games. And criticism number 3, rose-tinted glasses, it's just nostalgia bait or whatever the fuck you're trying to say. Look at what this game is right now. If I'm not mistaken by the gameplay, it's fucking Dome from MW3, except it's on MW 2019 Part 2, and we just played it back in Vanguard. This game's titled Modern Warfare 2. The next game is titled Modern Warfare 3. If you want to talk about rose-tinted glasses, that is the exact selling point of these next Call of Duties. If it weren't for them baiting on nostalgia from the start from back in MW 2019, we wouldn't have the fucking shit show that we have right now. That is actual nostalgia baiting. That is playing these games with rose-tinted glasses, thinking they're as good as the golden era CODs because it's titled Modern Warfare, Black Ops Cold War, MW2, MW3. Guys, it's all bullshit. It's funny how they see the exact blueprint that made Call of Duty good, and we're seeing it again right now where people people are going back to playing the older Call of Duty games, making videos on those games, having so much more success on those games, having a better time on those games, and yet they still don't want to look at those older CODs and say, I wonder if we should do something different about the next Call of Duty game and maybe give them a taste of the golden era CODs. Let's look at what made those Call of Duty games so good and let's try to do it here. People spend so much time worrying about the fucking FOV slider and their FPS and the servers and all these other configurations and settings that they forget that that's not what made the older Call of Duty games good. Don't fucking lie to yourselves either. You never played Modern Warfare 2 and said, oh my god, the hit registration is so good. You never played Black Ops 1 and said, oh my god, these servers are incredible. No, motherfucker, you never said that. You just played the game and enjoyed it because guess what? It was enjoyable. You have the blueprint available for the last 15 years of COD, and yet you're still giving us shitty products and focusing on bundles and microtransactions and oversaturating us with the goddamn shop. You took away prestiging. They took away the dead silence perk. They took away the red dots on the minimap. In MW 2019, we damn near had no minimap at all. For what? What the fuck was the reason? But that's gonna do it for me today, guys. I'm curious to know what you guys think about this. What do you guys prefer, the dark ages of COD or the golden era of COD? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notifications to stay up to date with my newest videos. And yeah, guys, it's been the boy Fooly. Have yourselves a good one. I'm out of here. Toodles.
It's been a very long time since the weekend. It's been a very long time and I'm weak.